Hello everyone, I'm Danielle from CagelessReadings, so welcome back to the channel, or welcome here if you've never watched a video before. I just recently harvested my pumpkins and my squashes from my old garden, and since it's getting close to Halloween, it just felt appropriate to put them in this pick a card reading. So I felt like I was going to have a lot of cards put out for this card reading, which is why I have such a big space. I don't know if this is actually a very good Halloween theme, but I wanted to do a look at one of your most relevant past lives and a soul purpose you've reincarnated in with this life that would pertain to that past life. So that there's a purpose to go into your past life, and it would also be kind of like fun. I don't know, maybe there'll be some witchy vibes, might just be some alien vibes, or I don't know, some kind of animal vibes. I'm not sure, but I just felt like that's the most Halloween-y topic I could think of, was a past life reading. So yeah, let's begin. So for pile 1, we have this Super 7 point. So yeah, Super 7. Okay, pile 2 is going to be this Selenite tower. I just think Selenite towers look so cool. And then pile 3, we have this raw piece of fluorite. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was actually just some amethyst into this, because it was technically labeled as fluorite, but it just looks so amethysty to me. Okay, so I will give you a moment to take a few deep breaths and ask yourself if there is a pile here with a message for you. If not, don't sweat it. There'll be plenty of other pick a card readings for you out there. So I will see you all in your card readings. Okay, pile 1, so I just pulled your cards. I just want a quick note. For me, Super 7, and I don't know if this is totally accurate, but I see this as the mystic stone. That's how I would word it. I don't know why. It feels like with 7 different crystals in it, it's just super powerful. It's supposed to be able to help balance, heal all of your chakras, your spiritual body, your emotional body, and your energetical body. So it's known to be quite a potent stone. And of course, it's not super common to get 7 different types of crystal in one. So it's super cool. So I'm expecting some sort of mystical ability in this past life one that you've chosen, but I guess we'll find out together. So let's start here. We have, okay, I don't know if I want to pay attention to direction. So we have the tailor, attention to detail, the sleeper, the archer, the witch. Look at that. That's so funny. Well, I mean, I feel like it was destined to happen when, like I said, you have like what I consider a mystic stone. So we have the guide, the fate, and the patron, mentorship, finances. Put this here. So I pulled these cards to look into specifically your past life. This is what your soul wants you to learn from that past life. We have Traveler, Spirit Fox, and Shaman. And let's see, will I pull these other cards yet? Oh, you know what? Let's just start. You know what? I'll put them all out. I kind of like seeing them all. So then we have. I'm trying to remember exactly what I pulled these for. I think it's your sole purpose in this lifetime is this card. So we have the pink rose of Lady Nada. We have hold your center, and we have the heart transmission for what you are meant to do in this life. And these cards were lessons you learned in your past life. We have surrender to spirit and surrender procrastination. Okay. Well, let's see. I actually think you can almost see them all. Okay, well, that might just be the best we can do. And I'll move them as we talk. So, let me go a little further yet. I really want to look at, firstly, the past life. For your past life, what I'm picking up here, this actually isn't a gender-specific past life. I really believe that there was both people who have chosen this path that were male or female in this past life. It's so interesting. So I do actually think your traditional job back then was this is where some are seamstresses in like a small, they say like a farming community, but very, very small. Even for this era, I think it was quite small, and some were actual tailors because they were men. But it's so interesting. They almost show me in this life. So you were, it says witch, but I think in the era, really what you were was a pagan. And that there was, I think it's Catholic. They say the church. You think would be Catholic because they keep showing me the image of the Pope and there being a Pope. So I'm not totally sure of what time frame exactly. This is definitely Europe somewhere. I think the dialect would be some dialect that had English roots in it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it's like Ireland. I'm not totally sure, but somewhere in that area. It could be just north of Ireland. I don't know what country that would have been back then. Yeah, it's so funny. It does make me think of, I don't know, I know like Erin. Erin was a place. I don't know if you were near there or if you were wanting to go there. That's what I'm stuck on, because it's like in this past life, it tells me that you stayed in your small community. When I asked about the community, they said there was wheat farming there, but there was also a lot of trees. So there was like forests, but the trees didn't produce any fruit. So it was like too cold or harsh of a climate there, at least at the time. For fruiting trees, they were more so just like firewood kind of trees, like good coverage. They're not like here we have a lot of Christmas trees or coniferous, I think is what they're called, coniferous trees. It wasn't those trees there. They were leafy trees that would like change color and lose all their leaves in the winter. And it's really quite sad in some ways for this past life, because I see that like you thought that you would be safe in this town and that you could live in harmony. And I think it was very secretive. Like, I don't think there was many other people like you at this point in that community. I feel like I keep seeing like the church was quite powerful at that time or in that era. And I literally, like, the fate and this card here, the patron, I literally see like that it's almost like a trap was laid and you were caught red-handed is what I keep getting from these two cards. And what I think it was is I think you were essentially accidentally betrayed. I see like there was just so much going on in this era, and there was so much like torture and brutality during this phase that I feel like you thought, like, when I see the sleeper card, I feel like you thought that you were well hidden in plain sight and that people wouldn't see you or know who you were. And it even says like planning ahead, bidding your time. Like, I do feel like you were being very careful, but then I just feel like there was like a small crack where something slipped accidentally. It could have been like a child. A child could have accidentally ratted you out or like slipped something. And it wouldn't have taken much back then for the church to come crashing in on it. But one of the messages that does come through clearly is like this traveler card. It's saying that you felt more afraid to move on and you wanted to stay in that town that you were. But in hindsight now, you in this past life wish that you would have moved, like physically traveled. And it's so interesting because I think a lot of your other people did, like other pagans, other people who worshipped and believed in the same beliefs you had. I feel like they left the town and they literally became like the travelers back then. And this is like a lesson that your soul wants you to learn in this lifetime. So I think what it's saying is like, if you're afraid, or if you feel like there's a lot of uncertainty in your life, this past version of you is saying it hopes that you don't like stand your ground harder. Don't get stuck in the same thing that you know, thinking that something will change. Don't be afraid to take the chance and explore something new. That's how I'm taking that. Move in a new direction. It's just, I hope I'm conveying that right. It's almost like I think this past self was very stubborn, and was very like adamant that like this was their home and the church wasn't going to come in and take it away from them. But in hindsight, like, it really wasn't a safe place for you to be in that past life. I just think mostly because a lot of your community had left and the church was coming in pretty harsh. So I also just want to say, like, when I picture this like witch energy, I actually think really it was like more worshiping the land and ceremonies around gratitude for Mother Earth and the seasons and what she provides. And it feels like a very like harmonious relationship. And it's just seems important to mention that because I think some of you might have some hard feelings about being a witch or being called a witch. And it's just kind of like misrepresented by the church from that era and many eras where they would say like they were worshiping demons and things like that. But I actually think it was a very like environmentally functional and like just living in harmony with the land. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. And honoring it. And I think you would even like ask like Mother Earth for herbs or things that would cure certain remedies, and you would like listen and then you'd get an answer. And I can see how the church would have thought that was like evil, but that's like the energy I get from this past life. And actually, the more I think about it, the more I feel like this past life actually might have been male. It might have been a masculine past life. Yeah. I don't know, it's a general card reading, so I don't want to say for sure, but there does seem to be like this very strong, stubborn male energy coming through. And it could just be because you're a very strong woman in that past life, but there is, yeah, very strong male energy to it. And then other things that they wanted you to learn from this past life. So it says, trust your talents and changing times, and trust in higher forces. And I also feel like this is like trusting in your inner knowing. So this is so interesting because I almost wonder if you've chosen this pile, if right now in your life you feel a little bit stuck, if things do feel uncertain or unstable, or the ground feels like uncertain below your feet, because there is a lot of messaging here around saying to trust that change can be good, and trust that that you have the skills, you have like the intuition, you have like the universe, you have this relationship with Mother Earth and the nature spirits that want to help you out and will help you out and guide you to places that will be best for you. And it just seems so centered around, yeah, not getting stuck. Like it's almost like if you get put into a stressful situation, don't stand your ground and not leave. That is like the simplest way I can put it. This past self really regrets the stubbornness that they had, because it literally in some ways got them killed, and there was so much opportunity and so much other possibilities that they could have taken, but they just, yeah, felt so set on staying where they were, and outsmarting the system or outsmarting the other people. So yeah, I don't know, maybe that applies to you all or not, but that's really what the higher self from this past life is communicating. Yeah, these are actually very beautiful cards. Shaman, trust in your higher forces. I would also think that if you chose this pile, you would be drawn to elementals, fairies, maybe power animals and totem animals, because yeah, you just had such a strong bond with the earth. You also might be interested in druid culture or Celtic culture and things like that, like things that are just so earthy. And I think there's even like little reminders here to trust in that, in those guides, and that they are still with you. They didn't leave you in this last life. They're still hanging around now. And for some reason I keep thinking of gypsies. I don't know why. I don't know where gypsies originated from. But yeah, this woman, every time I look at her, I can't stop thinking gypsy heritage. And I don't think that was true in this past life, because when I was asking about it, I couldn't really see anything. But I wonder if your people were gypsies in this past life, and that's just who they became, was travelers. And then you didn't really survive the church after that. Yeah, after you were left on your own. Yeah, I'm not super sure, but maybe that means something to someone here. Me just saying the words gypsy might, like, maybe you have a past life that you already know about where you were a gypsy, or maybe you actually have gypsy heritage, and that would also make sense why it feels so strong. Okay, let's move on here. So this was, yeah, your past life. This is what your past life wants you to know in this lifetime. And then your purpose in life in this lifetime. So like what you're bringing in. And I just want you to remember that there's so many purposes, there's so many different reasons, and this past life only looks at a few of them. So don't feel like this is the only thing you're here to do. You're here for so much more. So the thing I found really cool is you have heart transmission, which I hopefully you've heard a lot about this already. There's so much going on about how since COVID, the new ways on Earth, everyone's switching into a more heart energy. Like everyone will come from more of a heart energy instead of a mind energy. And it's just really cool to see this come up in your cards. So it's just a confirmation, I would see, that you're part of the group here to bring the world, or the population, the collective now, into a more heart energy, a heart focused energy. So this is definitely very associated with being in connection with our environment, being in connection with others, remembering like the oneness of us all, and treating people with respect and reusable resources. So I wouldn't be surprised if you all tend to love to recycle or do all those extra steps, or you want to drive an electric car or things like that. I also would just see that you're probably very compassionate, because I also find it so interesting that these two people in this card. So this woman, she's like just looking up. There's like a lot of energy coming from around her heart, and there's a rainbow, and then there's also another woman here, all in a energy body with a lot of light around her heart. So I feel like there's just so much messages in the other cards that have come out for this about really being compassionate and of heart-centered energy. Like, I mean, roses kind of symbolize compassion to me, so I find that super interesting. Lots of repetition here. So this was hold your center, and the other one says pink rose of Lady Nada. Yeah, I feel like what I find so interesting about this card is this is just telling me that you're here to realize, to show people that they have two choices. Like, they don't need to follow what has been done before. They can choose to do something differently. They can choose to be of like a more heart-centered energy. I almost just see it as people are starting to realize like they don't want the lives that their parents had. They don't want to have just like this material emptiness or to work at a job they don't love, but just do it because that's what they're supposed to do. I feel like they want a more fulfilling life, one that makes them happier, one that makes them like shine and excited. And I don't know, I even like see, like when I see rainbows, I think it just clearly means that you're a light worker, you're here to bring healing or elevation to the planet. So I just think that's super cool. I also feel like you probably would see or work with Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, that sort of powerhouse woman energy. Some of you might resonate with Isis. I don't think so though. I feel like this pile has more of a Mary vibe, a more of a gentle, compassionate vibe. And I do see Mother Mary as such a symbol of the rose. So that might resonate with you. And then here with the dove, I really just see like setting free, like setting people free. I just feel like this pile is here just to emanate such a beautiful love signature on this planet. That's like the main focus it's talking about for this lifetime. So like I said, I'm sure there's so much more that you're doing, but the main focus is, I would say, is bring such a heart-centered, loving, compassionate, gentle, nurturing energy back. And this makes sense, it came through with this past life, because you would have had that with the earth and the environment and the nature spirits. And then I think the church did a really good job of like scaring people and annihilating it off the planet. Not completely. I mean, there was always the exceptions, but I think now people are ready to come back and have that be the dominant energy. So that's really exciting. So let's look at the last two cards I pulled for this pile, which says surrender procrastination and surrender to spirit. So it's so funny because I absolutely can't honestly remember if this was lessons from this past life that you learned or lessons to bring into this life to learn. I don't remember. So you take it however it resonates. But surrender procrastination, this made sense with this past life person not wanting to leave, just being pretty stuck in, they can just wait, they can just, hold out and keep doing what they're doing. And then eventually it was like too late, it was too unsafe and they couldn't get away. But I could also see how like they show me scenarios where some of you might procrastinate in this life because you get intimidated or overwhelmed, and they say it's almost like you have a bit of a struggle with insecurity, or like, not, I don't want to say that like in an emotional sense, like more insecurity in maybe you're not certain about your job or how your job's going to go in the future, if you'll get a raise or if you might get fired, or maybe you work a job that can change day to day or isn't very stable. So you're always having to adapt and, not have a lot of certainty. And they're saying something around like you can wait for the perfect time, but sometimes there isn't a perfect time. There's just now. And surrender to spirits. That one is just so beautiful. So I'm actually going to read this one. It says, once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. So it really is just saying, like, remember, the universe has just got your back and is working with you. And even the energy on the planet now is working for you. There isn't such an energy, of fear where something's going to come at you and annihilate you for your beliefs. Like, that, so fortunate for us, is leaving the planet. And so there's just like, there's so much opportunity and there's so much possibility. So yeah, don't forget to trust your magical abilities, because I think you definitely have a ton. Some inherited from many past lives, and some you just innately have as a human. So yeah, I just would trust that. And for some of you who resonated with the gypsy descent, like definitely have some strong healing abilities, some strong connection with the earth. Yeah, so cool. So cool. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I kind of thought these readings would be a lot longer than they were, so I'm almost a little surprised that they're only hitting about 20 minutes, but I guess that's okay. That's all I have to say. Well, hopefully you found that insightful, maybe cleared up something, and I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be spookier because it was supposed to be kind of a Halloween themed reading, but it's kind of nice if it wasn't spooky. Okay, well, you guys all have a good one, and maybe I'll catch you around. Hello, Pile 2. So you all chose the Selenite Tower. So let's look at the past life. We have the Shepherd, Celebration Family, the Captain, Taking Command, Teamwork, the Queen, the Storyteller, and the Tailor. We have that Attention to Detail, Pride. Okay. All right. I don't know for sure. I'm just starting to tune in, but I almost get the impression this is who you were. This is something that happened, and this is who you became, and it almost was like something you didn't like. Yeah, you didn't like that you became. And then this here is for the lessons you learned in that past life. Admit your true feelings to yourself. Practice, practice, practice. Patience, please, and perfect timing. Whoa, there's a lot of P's. I don't know if anyone else notices that. Practice, and they said it 3 times. Patience, please, and perfect timing. That's kind of funny. Okay. And then this is what your soul would want, your past life self would want you to know about your current life. To remember, we have Poet and Alchemist. Ooh, okay, I like that. This already is telling me like they're 2 creation cards. So like you can create, I think, your own outcome, your own story, I would almost say, and what you are here in this lifetime to bring into the world. So funny, vinegar. Don't worry, we'll get into it. Doesn't I'm sure it's not as bad as that sounds. Vinegar, the drowned king, gold, and clarification. Okay, put that there. And I'm just going to take a second here to tune into this past life a little bit clearer. Okay, pile two. So this is kind of an interesting past life. So it's a little unusual from the most that I get, but not in a bad way. It's interesting because I was trying to think this past life, if it chose selenite, would want just a complete clearing, So I wasn't too sure what to expect. But from what I can see in this past life, circumstances outside of yourself made you feel pressured into basically becoming your enemy, like being worse than your enemy, being like sort of the most being more aggressive than they were, fighting harder than they did. And so I'll just give you a little more context here. So how I see you is that you were the head of your household. So this does feel very male energy in this past life. And I see that you're from a farming community where there was a lot of livestock. So sheep, goats, some cattle, but I think the cows are probably pretty skinny. I don't see like very fat animals there, but there's lots of grass. There's lots of pastures, lots of flowers, hills and valleys. Very, like, it just feels so valley like. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these past lives, or just in the last two piles, feel very European or Irish. I'm not like, I don't know. I think back then it was pretty hard to distinguish the difference between the two. I don't know why, but at least for me, because it's like the land looks similar. It's very green, lots of like animals roaming around, lots of trees, not a lot of infrastructure back then. And I think the other thing that makes me think about Ireland for this one as well is I see here like you had a lot of harmony in your community. Like, it's funny, it says captain here, but I see this card as commerce, like selling things. Like I think you were some form of cattle or sheep or goat farmer, and you did a lot of trades, and there was just a lot of peace. That's how I see it. Like, you had a lot of mutual respect. There was like systems that were in harmony, and I feel like you were honestly quite a good and fair person. And you survived in your community very well, and I think were like a very just kind-hearted man is really what I want to say. Like, you were very like masculine still, like very authoritative, very direct. I don't want to quite say strict, but I almost felt like you didn't like get pushed over. Like, you knew what your limits were, you knew what your value was. And I just the word they keep saying though is fair. You weren't in any way too much of anything. You're just very fair and respectful. And then I see this Queen card. I actually feel like this symbolizes civil unrest, but I'm not sure if it was civil unrest. Like, if you were fighting, like, it's so funny. I want to say like Vikings. I don't know why. That I don't even know if like historically that would even make sense, but I almost get that there's like this, they look like Vikings. That's what I'm going to say. They're very like big compared to the other people. Like, they're just built bigger and stronger than the people from your communities, and they come in and they almost like, I almost see that like there's unrest in the motherland. That's how I see the Queen card being determined. Like, I see this as like the estate, the land, and there being feuds and sacrifices and just like everything that you know to be is sort of taken from you. And it's interesting. I think for the first little bit in this lifetime, you tried to be as you were. Like, you tried to be fair about it, make trades, make offers, be in that commerce kind of mentality. But then I see like there's just, I almost feel like it is Viking energy. Like, they were like bloodlusty, they were pretty ruthless, they were brutal. Like, they just slayed people, they killed people, they took what they wanted. And I just see like this did something to you in that past life. Like, I like see this. It's funny, it says storyteller, but I see like your inner beast, your shadow side took over, and it came out to protect your land. And it's almost like you had to be the bigger monster is what it's telling me. Like, you had to be the most bloodlusty, most brutal, most lethal person that you could be to protect your land and even the people around you. And I think this is why this needs the selenite, because this is the opposite of who you were. Like, you were so fair, you were so compassionate, you were very like verbalized, like, let's communicate and find a solution, where the intruder that came in was not that. They were like such an aggressive, like, fight. Doesn't even matter if the other person doesn't want to fight, they would just fight anyways. So I just see like this was so hard for you. Like, trying, like, you had no control over yourself at that point. Like, you felt optionless, like you just had to, like, if you can't beat them, join them kind of mentality, but like be the bigger monster. And then this card, the Taylor card, I think this has literally just come up because it talks about pride. And also this cord here. I think this actually is saying that this past life needs like a cord cut between you and this lifetime, just to clear it and offer it some healing. Because it does feel like this, it felt like you betrayed yourself, your essence of who you were, but you couldn't, you like were so backed into a corner. You're like, what do I do? Like, do I just let them kill everyone around me? Do I let them just like pillage and rape women, or do I fight back? So it's just like, it was a really hard lifetime for you all. Yeah, so I just like the pride. I feel like your pride was like lost, like you became a thing you were so ashamed of. So we're gonna offer a little clearing to this life after all this here. So that actually could make sense why in this lifetime, the lesson that this lifetime wants to give to you is to know that you are the creator. You can change things. Like, poet to me just expresses creativity. Like, speak your reality into truth. Create. It's so funny too that they have two doves. It almost just tells me like, know that there is always a diplomatic solution. No, there always is a diplomatic solution. So even though they didn't feel like it in this lifetime, in hindsight now, that's the lesson they're still communicating to you, that they would like you to know. And the alchemist is transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So I really just see alchemist as, you can heal, change, adapt, transmute anything. You are the alchemist. I hope I'm like verbalizing that. I feel like I have so much history with the word alchemist at this point that it means so much to me, but some of you might not have heard that word before. I really think of like being a divine alchemist, like being the person who's in control. So this person felt out of control once they like did this and changed. But they just are reminding you to know that you're always in control. It's so funny. I know that's so ironic because there's a lot of ways that we aren't in control, but we are in control. You feel like I don't have enough time to explain this. It feels like such a riddle almost. Okay, so this does make more sense too to what they wanted you to, or I think this is what they learned in their past life, is what I had said this was for. So patience, please. I find this very interesting. So it talks about having patience and waiting for the unforeseen factors to happen and for things to change. When I see practice, I actually think it's about practicing patience and practicing. I kept thinking communication, and I almost feel like this is what this soul regretted, is not sticking to their way and not waiting for the right time and for the right circumstances to have addressed things differently and not had to become them to basically settle this. And then be honest with yourself. Only you know what it is that you truly desire. This is very interesting. This card actually is the one card that's stumping me a little bit. I don't get like immediate hit off of it. Okay, so sorry, I was just asking for clarification. And I almost get that, like, at the end of the day, this past life had to ask themselves, what do they want? And I kind of got the impression that they just wanted, I think you had daughters, like you wanted your daughters to be safe. You wanted your family to be safe, and just even like the right to leave and just be together. So I almost feel like what this past life learned was that all this other stuff didn't matter so much. It was actually just the family unit and the relationships and wanting to keep them safe that was actually the most important. And I feel like that might have been the thing in the end that didn't end up being okay, because I almost feel like there was such a battle between yourself and this like other leader that I think there was probably a lot of retaliations, and there probably was a lot of wounding done to your personal family. So yeah, I don't know for sure. There's just definitely a big lesson around knowing that there was a better way, and if this past life could redo it, they would do it in a more diplomatic way. And I also feel like from what I get is they would reestablish what was really important, the family unit and keeping the family safe. And I almost feel like they're saying like eventually these people would leave the land that they took over, because I just have the impression that these people just took over all sorts of different land and didn't actually stay anywhere that long. So I think almost it's like your past self recognizes that they would have moved on to the next thing that they would try to conquer, but they actually couldn't maintain a lot of land because no one stayed behind to maintain it, from what I can see. So yeah, I really don't know who this intruder was. They feel aggressive like the Vikings, but I don't actually know. I just see like very bloodlusting, like willing to die for battle, no fear kind of energy, just looking for a fight. And that's I think of the Vikings because that's who I've was told was like that. So yeah, let's look at. Sorry, I don't know if this is heavy for some of you. I always feel like a past life you're disconnected from. So hopefully you're not experiencing any negative emotions because of this. But I do want to look at what you're here to bring into this lifetime. Yeah, the vinegar card is so interesting because I just keep thinking how this person in this past life felt very bitter and like that almost like destroyed them. But when I see this vinegar, I almost feel like it's like transcending bitterness. Like I almost feel like it, I could be wrong, but I almost feel like for this pile, it would be very hard to get you as upset as you were in this lifetime. It's almost like you are a peacekeeper, I would say. Like you're able to see from a higher perspective the situation and not just jump into it. And the clarification, I really like this as well in the gold, the drowned king. I like this because when I see the drowned king, I think of a humble person. So you are here to be a leader but you're not going to be a leader like you ended up in the past. You're going to be someone whose most important value is peace and fair and respect and mutual, what's the word? Mutual, I can't quite think of it, but like everyone wins. And it's just like that fair mentality. So I actually feel like you do embody a lot of this original essence on this side, but with more of a wisdom. And I don't know if you have situations in this lifetime that would have challenged you, or if it's even from this past life, seeing the retrospect that it's just like this like innate wisdom within you to, like it even says, I think like you clarify a situation before you like jump to a conclusion, and you try to see the opportunity in the circumstance and situation. So you're like very adaptable. So if something doesn't go the way you initially hoped, I feel like you can like find the gold, you could say, or the silver lining in the situation that now presents to you. Yeah, I feel like it's just so about like you're able to like adapt and focus the light somewhere else. Like you don't have like a tunnel vision. You can like switch and be like, well, what can we do with this situation now? Yeah, I'm trying to see what sorry, what kind of leadership you all are doing, because with this drowned king card and even the clarification, like I just see like this flock of birds. And I just feel like you really are here to like lead people, teach people, show people. I don't know, and maybe it's because the general card reading, it could be several different ways that you're here to do this. So it's not going into specific, but I almost even think with the vinegar card, I feel like there is like this wisdom in knowing that you can learn from your past and you don't have to be bitter about it, and there doesn't have to be like this. I almost want to say like a relapse. Like if someone says something to you, you don't come at them with like a defensiveness because of a past event. Like there's, I don't know, I keep coming back to like this wisdom, this essential wisdom that's just within your essence, this peaceful nature. I don't know, it's really cool to see. Okay, so I am just gonna do that healing I talked about, and then I think that's it for this pile. But I am just gonna set the intention, if you give me your permission, to clear, basically offer this past life a healing, because I feel like there's just still some ends not quite fully tied, you could say. So I'm just gonna offer it healing, and then I'm just going to cut the cord between that past life and this collective. And we really just ask to keep the lesson and the love, like the lesson learned and the love. And we just let go of the rest because we just don't need that extra weight on us. Okay, so if you want to receive that, then just say yes. And I'm going to do that now. So I'll just be quiet for a moment. Okay, that's it. It's that easy. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all I had for you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hopefully, this reading wasn't too heavy for you. I felt like some people might have taken it very heavy. So, just know that you ultimately know what's right and what is true for you, and just don't keep any of that heaviness. Just shake it off, let it go, cut cords with it. These readings aren't meant to be heavy and make you feel worse. They're meant to be light to make you feel easier and happier. So yeah, just know to leave what doesn't serve you here on YouTube. Okay, maybe I'll catch you all around sometime. Enjoy your days. And yeah, just don't think too seriously today. Okay, pile 3, you all chose the rainbow fluorite. That looks a little bit like amethyst. So let's see what you got for your past life card reading. You got a lot of cards for this. So we have the botanist, there we go. Parenthood legacy, the astronomer, discovery, the apparently I can't speak Wilson. A crossroads, explorations, radical changes, taking control. And then we have over here the acolyte, new projects and learning. The twins, the weaver, and the thief. No. How I've been liking to do it, if one's upside down, then that's kind of like the change from what you were to what you become. So we'll look into that a little bit deeper. We have what you learned from this past life, or what your soul would like you to learn is everything's okay, emotional healing, autumn, and affirmations. And then what you've come into this lifetime to bring, we have spirit bear, I can't say that word, Cupio dissolvi, and we have mandala of the heart. Ooh, that's pretty. Lots of white in these cards. Lots of healing, I think. Okay. Can you see that one there? All right, we'll keep it there then. Okay, I'm just going to take a second to tune in to this lifetime and see what's going on here. Okay, pile 3. So what I'm seeing in the past life here for you is, so I actually see this card here. It says parenthood and legacy, but I actually see that you were like a young person and you were wanting to make a name for yourself, is probably the best way to say it. Like you were wanting to see the world and see what else was out there and explore. So I actually love this. So I feel like you felt drawn or called to, it says follow the stars. So I think that's just actually talking about how people used to navigate using the stars. And it's so funny because I see like this crossroads and exploration. So I just see like there was a long time where you were traveling and traveling to get to this point that I think you felt called to go. Like you intuitively felt drawn you should be. And then when you got there, I think it probably might even have taken you like a year or two to get there. I see that it's like there's an analogy they're trying to tell me, like stick to you like bees to honey or something like that. And they're saying like you were pretty naive, you were pretty pure of heart, You were very kind. You saw the best in people, and I think you might have only have seen the best in people. So I almost, oh, sorry, my battery died there. So yeah, as I was saying, you were just very innocent. You weren't very worldly in a lot of ways to how some people could be. And I almost feel like you found someone like a mentor or a teacher of some sort, someone who you thought was going to teach you something, but they actually had other intentions. Like I try to tune in and ask, but from what I can understand is like you were pretty skilled, and I think they ended up kind of taking advantage of you. Like say you were going to apprentice with them, that's almost the energy I'm getting. And instead of paying you fairly or really teaching you anything, they sort of made you work for them and then took most of the earnings or something like that. But you actually didn't really know that you were doing things right, or that you were really the one like who had all the knowledge, or something like that. It was just like a weird manipulation. Yeah, I think they were supposed to be some kind of teacher though. But I just see that, yeah, you already knew this stuff, or you already had like so much value you were bringing. And then I almost see that something happens here. It's almost like I think there's like another person, like the twins card here, self-protection, dual natures. I almost feel like you meet another apprentice of this person that you're apprenticing under, and they bring you like some clarity. Like there's like a good friendship that's formed. There's some clarity that's brought, and it allows you to start to see honestly how much this person or how much this teacher took from you, or like underpaid you or undervalued you. And I just have the impression that you like weren't left with much. Like this person had taken all the credit and all your work. And I don't know what you were doing. It's funny, I feel like I see potions and then I see so much writing, like so much importance is what you wrote down. And I don't really know what that is all about. Yeah, I just feel like it was knowledge, knowledge that you like couldn't get back necessarily, some kind of work you couldn't get back. So then I must see that there was like a transition period in this past life where you gain confidence, and through this like friendship, you see this teacher for who they are, and then you leave them, and then you end up going into a totally different sort of field. But this is what I said, where change comes. This is like such a aspiring, beautiful, excited spirit in the start of the journey, and then you meet this person who essentially takes advantage of your naiveness, your kindness of heart. And then I almost see like where your path goes from there is like you just were doing things to make money, basically trying to make your ends meet. And I just like this whole seizing the moment and selfishness. I think I just see this as like saying like your character changed in the end. Like you weren't in this heart-centered space anymore. You were just doing what you could to survive and make it. And I feel like a lot of years were lost to this person, because I keep trying to say, well, why couldn't you have redone the work you did with them? And they were saying something like it was just years of your life lost to this. So I almost feel like they might have put you under the bus or something, and then took all the credit, and then said like, oh, you were like a liar, and something like, it's like some reason it didn't work out for you in the end. Like people didn't believe you, and I don't know. I feel like it must have been knowledge. It must have been tons of like, I almost wonder if you were making like remedies or things like that, or it could even been scientific work. I really can't quite put my finger on it, but it just, yeah, it's like you felt like, how I feel here is like you felt like they took everything from you. Like you lost everything. You lost your chance of like, say, a chance of retirement or your chance at being provided for, not having to work really hard into your old age. Yeah, that feels like that was lost at the end of this. And I essentially feel like you did like work hard until the day that you died, which was something that I think your spirit really didn't want to do, like do that kind of hard labor. Yeah, like essential labor. So stepping back and looking at what you're here to do in this lifetime, it's very interesting that it all comes back to um, trusting and knowing that it's safe to follow your heart and to see the best in people, but now seeing it with like this higher, greater soul wisdom. So it's like, it's funny, like both these cards here talk about going through life with an open heart and trusting in that heart energy and trusting where it guides you, knowing that it's safe in this lifetime, knowing that you doing this helps others feel safe to do the same, like you're leading by example. So this is what you've come into this life to do, part of your purpose. And the thing I find so fascinating is like I see like, to me, a sunflower seeds behind, like a sunflower head behind this woman, and to me sunflowers just represent abundance in all things. So I feel like that's what you're destined for in this lifetime. It's like what you were set out for at the start of this, but then you were almost like fooled by this other. But the spirit bear comes in, and this is what makes me think like you have a gentle nature, but you have the ability to protect yourself and see things clearly. So it's, I don't know if you can see, like even in the picture, like the bear on one side is very beautiful and soft, and then on the other side I feel like I see like a shaman's dressing on the bear, and it just makes me think like you have that ability now to see the shadow side and the light side in others, so you won't be fooled that way again. This life is meant to be different, and it is meant to be beautiful, and for you to be able to trust in the beauty of people. So the things that your soul took away from this lifetime, this one here, everything's okay. Don't worry, it's all working out in a beautiful way. So when I see these two, actually these three, I really feel like there's so many like nature spirits that have come forward to offer you healing around this. It's like, it's almost like the fairies and the elementals and the earth energies saw how pure your intentions were, how good your intentions were, and they offer even like good energy to you in this life. Like I almost feel like you have the blessings and the protection of so many spirits. It's very, very lovely. So I feel like you're so looked after. Emotional healing, as your heart heals of old emotional pain, you receive new blessings and love. This card also really spoke to me because I feel like that was the missing piece. Like I think this soul, this past life version of yourself, had some emotional healing to do because it just felt so betrayed. But I do feel like there was a lot of that done kind of in the in between limbo, like before coming into this lifetime. And you might have had other lifetimes in between this one and the one you're in now, but I feel like there was like a good period of rest and healing done around this, so that you could come back and be in a heart-centered place and have it work out for you. So funny, affirmations. I actually feel like this is advice that slipped in here for you. So affirmations: to lift up your thoughts and energy and to attract what you desire, use positive affirmations. So I think that's actually just a confirmation to keep using positive affirmations if you like them. And then this autumn card, I think there's a bit of a double meaning. One is that there is just so much abundance coming to you in this lifetime. You're just so destined to it karmically, and just like your energy, it's like what you've come into this lifetime to experience. So it's saying in the fall season, everything comes together and you reap wonderful harvests of abundance. I really just feel like this also cements that there is a lot of earthy spirits who are like watching your back and protecting you and essentially blessing you. So this pile like has a lot of good karma. I don't know if that's like the best word I can use for it. I feel like you have a lot of good karma. Like you've done so many really great things, and you are such like a heart-centered, loving spirit, and you have been in past lives. And I think this lifetime they're saying like you're well protected and things aren't gonna sneak up on you again. And this life is different. It's for you to have what you want in this lifetime. Pretty powerful. So I know this one was short, but I actually feel like that's the big message, is just know that you're very safeguarded and that wonderful miracle things are going to happen for you. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed your card reading. Hopefully I catch you around. And there is a healing session at the end of this if you would like to receive it. Hello everyone. So I guess I'm coming to you from the future or the past. I'm not sure. No, I'm not. I'm going to confuse myself, but I'm just pre-recording some healing sessions because the energy is just feeling so good for it. And when you feel like you have the energy and it's incredible for healing, I'm just going to use it when I can. So I thought I'd pull a card since I have no clue what the pick a card reading is going to need whenever I end up doing the card reading portion. So I felt inspired to use the Crystal Mandela Oracle. It says channel the power of heaven and earth. And I don't know why channel the power was really what drew me to choosing this deck for some advice on what to bring into this Reiki session for you all. So my idea is, as you can tell, I kind of have like a supercharged crystal pile here. They're all, well, more or less all of them are points except for this one. And they're all clear quartz, rose quartz, or smoky quartz. Actually, the main one here is my distant Reiki crystal. It's rudalized smoky quartz. Absolutely amazing crystal. And I do actually have a piece of Super 7 as well. So just to get more smoky in there, I guess, and some amethyst. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a card and I'm going to put it in front, and then I'm going to channel in Reiki for you all. And my intention is whatever this card comes out is going to be what we need to focus on in this session. Because like I said, I'm kind of coming from the future in some ways, or the past. I don't know. It's so funny. It's kind of confusing me, that whole concept of time. But anyways, yeah, so this will just be the best way for me to be divinely guided on what you all need. And then I might read from the book what it calls on you to do. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this card to see the theme for this Reiki session. Just asking what is in the highest good of all involved, of the collective who watch this. What Reiki theme do they need right now whenever they see this? Future, past, present. Okay. Wow. Oh, right. We have number 4. And it says Archangel Melchizedek and Selenite, Divine Perfection. We do have a Selenite tower here, a pretty big one. So that's perfect. And I do have Selenite. You can't see it's out of frame, but kind of, oh wait, you can see some of it. It is surrounding in these wands. This whole circle thing happening here, because I just really like to make sure that only love and light come through and nothing else gets in. So, Divine Perfection, Crystal Angels 444, and I believe that's just the book she's referring to, that it comes from. And yeah, let's read what it says here. 4. And I don't know if I'll read all of it. As if you don't know Alana Fairchild, she kind of has like pages and pages of things. So let's just read a paragraph. We bring you the gift of divine perfection. As you receive our gift, you will feel a wave of great peace move through your heart and mind. You will know you are exactly as you were divinely designed to be, that your life is proceeding in perfect timing and that all is well. If there has been a matter causing you concern, allow us to bless that situation with the peaceful grace of the divine now. You shall receive the perfect resolution of that matter in accordance with unconditional love. There is no need to judge yourself for any decision or choice you have ever made. Forgive yourself and others now. There are so many blessings for you to receive, and no need for you to hold on to anything out of fear, shame, guilt, or regret. Free yourself as you surrender into the realization of divine perfection. Ooh, I like that. I think I will just leave it there. And I'm just going to see that she has an affirmation. And maybe we'll say this at the end, but I'll let you know what it is now, just to see if you resonate with it. It says, I feel the serenity of my spirit and the courage of my heart as divine perfection expresses itself through me in all ways. And we're supposed to say it 3 times to really reiterate it. So, I feel the serenity of my spirit and the courage of my heart as divine perfection expresses itself through me in all ways. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to put this card just in front of the rutilized smoky quartz here. Sort of my power generator is how I see it. Master healer stone. And I'm just going to start the Reiki. And yeah, I'm just going to set the intention that whatever has come through in this card is the healing you need right now, and that it finds you in love and light and in your highest good for all involved, for everyone watching. And it just, helps you with the block that you have right now, or the struggle you're facing. So I'm just going to take a few deep breaths. Feel free to join me. I love to envision a pillar of light coming down from the sky all the way to the earth, and I'm in the middle of it. And as I breathe in, visualizing this light coming in through my nose, down into my center, and then when I exhale, I release all that no longer serves me, and it goes back into Mother Earth, where it can be transmuted or cleansed, or whatever it is, she knows what to do with it. So it's no longer my worry. So we're just breathing in that love and light. We're exhaling all that no longer serves us. Breathing in, love and light. Exhaling what no longer serves us. Let's begin. You can feel free to close your eyes, just affirm or say yes, mentally or out loud, if you are wanting to receive this today. And I'm just going to play some sound bowls from YouTube while this goes. Okay, everyone. It was quick, but it is already over. The thing I forgot to mention is, with this many points and this many amplifier crystals, yeah, it's gonna be intense and a really quick thing. So, sorry guys, should have mentioned that at the start. But that being said, it felt pretty good. I did feel like there was a lot of angelics present, and just like so much love energy, so much love and compassion for self that I thought that came through. So yeah, hopefully that's a confirmation in some way. If you feel called to it, maybe you would want to say that affirmation. Alana Fairchild suggests it to really embody the energy of the card and the healing it brings. And funny enough, it kind of looks like an angel is in this card to me. I don't know if you see that, but it kind of looks like an angel right here. Sorry, that's my cat. She's not allowed in this room and she gets really upset about it. So yeah, you know what, I'm actually going to read a little bit more from the guidebook. So sorry if you're slowly coming back. Maybe I'll just say this and we'll see if it resonates with you. But it says, the healing process. To integrate this guidance, you may like to say this invocation now. I call upon the crystal angel of Selenite and Archangel Melchizedek, who love me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing gift of perfection. May all beings find comfort in the inner truth of their divine perfection. May divine love discover itself in all beings, awakening to a realization of internal peace and divine perfection. May there be comfort and peace in the hearts of all beings through divine mercy and my own free will, so be it. Sorry. She's pretty upset. I think she probably senses all this love energy and she's probably a little sad that she isn't here getting it. It's kind of how she rolls. She doesn't really like someone else getting more love than she does. Okay. So it says, if you wish to further integrate this guidance, hold the oracle card with the mandala image facing inwards and resting at your third eye chakra. Then say out loud, I choose of my own free will to honor and express my ability to evolve spiritually with peace in my heart, accepting that the perfection of divine love is always whole and shining within me. May those that love me unconditionally assist me in sustaining serenity within my being as I take my journey of personal and spiritual growth in this lifetime. May divine perfection reveal itself to me through unconditional love, compassion, so be it, and so it is. May divine perfection shine its loving light for all to see. May all beings be happy and free, according to divine love, so be it, and so it is. May feel the serenity of my spirit and the courage of my heart as divine perfection expresses itself through me in all ways. I feel the serenity of my spirit and the courage of my heart as divine perfection expresses itself through me in all ways. I feel the serenity of my spirit and the courage of my heart as divine perfection expresses itself through me in all ways. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there. Take all the time you need, coming back into reality. And thanks for joining for this session. I hope you all have a wonderful day and you just see the divine perfection that you already are.